Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, new details about the man charged in a deadly Telfiner shooting.
Victoria voters face a choice about firefighter contracts, what you need to know before you vote.
A Homeland Security video sparks debate at airports nationwide.
We're coming to you live from the Calhoun County Fair out here in Port Lavaca. Getting ready on stage is the Beauty Queen contest. And of course, the carnival's over there and the turkey legs are that way. We'll be talking about how lovely the weather will be for the county fair coming up in just a few minutes.
And Goliad battles undefeated Orange Grove Bulldogs this Friday night. We'll preview this contest later on.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry.
And I'm Don Brubaker.
We are learning new details about a man charged after a deadly shooting in Telfiner. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, 41-year-old Savin Sang, also known as Two-Face, is in the country illegally from Cambodia and an admitted gang member. He is now in federal custody, accused of unlawfully possessing a firearm after 47-year-old Charmony Lewis was shot in the head in Telfiner on October 3rd. Court records reveal Sang had a prior arrest warrant for another homicide in Los Angeles and had previously been ordered deported as an aggravated felon in 2016, but was never removed. If convicted, he faces up to 10 years in federal prison. A safety concern at the South Texas Project nuclear plant in Matagorda County led to an emergency alert. STP Nuclear Operating Company declared what's called a notification of unusual event after the sheriff's office alerted them to a possible security concern. That threat has not been confirmed or validated, but officials say there is no danger to the public. This is the lowest level of emergency used by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and typically does not require any action. Plant operators are working with law enforcement to keep the site and its employees safe.
If you're swerving around the same pothole every morning, you're not alone. We spotted some trouble spots at Easley and Salem Road. If there's a pothole that's driving you crazy, snap a photo or video and send it our way. We'll feature it on the next Pothole Patrol and follow up to see if it sparked action. Email us at staff@crossroadstoday.com.
The Port of Victoria is taking a big step toward the future of energy. It just signed an agreement with Blue Energy, an advanced nuclear power company, to explore building a modular nuclear facility at the Texas Logistics Center. The project could bring up to 1.5 gigawatts of clean energy and over $1 billion in investment, along with about 100 high-paying jobs to the area. Blue Energy says its next-gen design cuts costs and build time, aiming to deliver American-made nuclear power faster and more efficiently than ever.
A burn ban was put into effect today for Jackson County due to ongoing dry conditions and an increased risk of wildfire. The Jackson County Commissioner's Court urged residents to not do any outdoor burning until further notice. There are over 130 Texas counties now under burn bans. I heard this month is renamed Hottober. I cannot argue that.
Yes, it is on the warm side, but you know, when the sun starts going down, it starts to cool off a little bit. So we go to Mac Perez for a first look at our forecast. He's at the Calhoun County Fair and should feel pretty nice out there
hope so.
headed into the evening. Mac?
Well, we are coming to you live from the Calhoun County Fair out here in Port Lavaca. You're all invited to come. Couldn't ask for a lovelier evening. We've got behind me, the tension is thick because the beauty queen contest is getting underway. They just crowned Mr. Junior Cowboy, something like that. Anyway, the turkey legs are that way, and you can see all the food courts where everybody's also lined up for all the tickets for the carnival rides. So it's a traditional fair. I believe this is the 89th year that they've been doing this. So we want you to come out here and enjoy it. This goes from now all the way through Saturday. Let's take a look real quick at your satellite radar view, and you can see that out on the west coast there's a big area of low pressure. That is the cavalry coming in to help us push away the dome of high pressure. That is going to be the first storm that comes into our area beginning on Sunday night and Monday. And then behind that, we should get another one that will actually cool us down and get us some rain for next week. We'll have all that coming up for you coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
If you want more news, weather, and updates, just come to crossroadstoday.com to stay connected. Airports across the country are refusing to air a new video from the Department of Homeland Security, one some say crosses a political line.
Spencer Soicher shows us why the message is drawing criticism and how some airports are responding.
The sounds of any airport are similar, but some things you hear at other airports you won't hear in Denver.
Hi, I'm Christine Ohm, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security.
At least a half dozen airports across the country are now refusing to air this video from the Department of Homeland Security at TSA checkpoints.
However, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government.
It's not airing in Denver because DIA doesn't have TVs at security that do anything other than display basic information without audio.
It's very partisan, and I think it violates the Hatch Act.
The Denver airport doesn't have to make a choice on whether to air it, but the second largest airport in Colorado isn't showing it either. The Colorado Springs airport says they have a policy against partisan messaging guided by the Hatch Act.
Basically, you separate political activities from civil servants or from federal properties or anything that deals with federal funds.
Former Democratic Colorado Congressman Ed Perlmutter knows all about the Hatch Act.
Well, the Hatch Act is something you learn about, before Congress.
Perlmutter is an attorney, though, too.
You hear about it under Democrats and under Republicans, but nothing to the extent that we're hearing it under this administration.
The Hatch Act became law in 1939 in response to concerns federal employees were coerced and threatened with termination if they didn't support certain candidates. No sound on this TV means no allegations of violating the Hatch Act. And Perlmutter says it shouldn't be a hard choice to make.
It's Democrats did this, it's Democrats' fault, so it is a very partisan statement.
Voters will decide this fall on 17 amendments to the Texas Constitution. Texas voters can vote on a proposed amendment to the state constitution that would ban all non-citizens from taking part in elections. Texas law already bans non-citizens from voting. The state's election code says only U.S. citizens may vote or register to vote in Texas. Proposition 16 would add, quote, persons who are not citizens of the United States, unquote, to a list of those ineligible to vote in Texas. Early voting opens next Monday, October 20th.
Victoria voters will soon decide whether local firefighters can enter into a civil service agreement with the city. If it passes, firefighters would have the ability to negotiate pay, benefits, and working conditions while also protecting against strikes and lockouts. Victoria firefighters say their top priority is public safety, and they would prefer to keep serving the city they call home. Election day is just a few weeks away, and this is one issue that could shape the future of local emergency services.
The firefighters here in town are going to have basic protections and standards that are going to foster an environment that makes them want to stay, ultimately.
And the upcoming ballot propositions were prompted by a petition from the Victoria Firefighters Association. The city of Victoria is encouraging residents to learn more about the propositions by watching the October 8th City Council meeting at victoriatx.gov/TV15. Early voting starts Monday, October 20th and ends Friday, October 31st. Election day is November 4th. Well, students at Texas A&M University Victoria got a dose of real-world medical insight from someone who knows it firsthand. Dr. Yusuke Yohagi, a former cardiothoracic surgeon turned high school teacher, was the first guest speaker since the university transitioned to the A&M system. He spoke about a serious heart condition called cardiogenic shock to college students, local medical professionals, local community leaders, and some of his own students from Ganado High School who might become future healthcare workers themselves. And next door at Victoria College, health students jumped into action during a high-intensity emergency simulation, complete with a fake 911 call and a mock heart attack. Students from 5 different programs worked together, from paramedics and nurses to respiratory and physical therapy assistants, giving care just like they would in a real ER. It all happened inside VC's newly upgraded simulation labs, built to mirror real hospital settings.
More Texas kindergarten students are going to school without a measles vaccination proof or exemptions. In school districts and charter networks with the most vaccine delinquencies, as many as 44% of kindergartners were not complying with state requirements. Austin ISD officials have not received proof of vaccination against measles for about 23% of this year's incoming kindergartners. Texas measles vaccine coverage is the lowest it's been since at least 2011.
Instagram is adding new safety limits for teen accounts following a PG-13 style approach in its latest update. The changes put tighter controls on what younger users can see, aiming to keep content more age appropriate. Some posts with strong language or risky behavior could be hidden or kept from being promoted. Teens also will not be able to follow accounts that regularly post content that is not age appropriate. And the new rules are not optional. Instagram will apply them automatically to anyone under 18.
The Fredericksburg ticket that shared the $1.8 billion Powerball jackpot was claimed by an anonymous winner. The winner selected the cash value option, receiving a total of $410 million before taxes. The winner expressed gratitude for the blessing and planned to share it with those who are special to them. The Texas Lottery has not yet named the Fredericksburg winner, who will have to go to Austin to claim their prize.
Oh. Wouldn't be bad to have it. Or remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, an attempted murder case reaches its conclusion in court, the political violence that shook a family.
Also ahead, a conspiracy theorist's last legal option gets rejected, why families continue waiting for justice.
The arsonist who started a fire at the Pennsylvania governor's mansion earlier this year pleaded guilty today.
ABC's Rena Roy has newly released video of the attack from both inside and outside the home.
Video shown today in court shows the moments officials say an arsonist firebombed the mansion of Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro back in April. The video released today after the suspect, Cody Bomber, pleaded guilty to attempted murder, arson, and aggravated arson. The judge sentencing him to 25 to 50 years in prison.
I think we need real accountability for acts of political violence. And today is real accountability.
You see Bomber breaking windows with a sledgehammer, throwing a Molotov cocktail through one, and climbing inside Shapiro's official residence through another. The fire growing fast, shooting embers into the air. Earlier that night, the governor and his family were celebrating the first night of Passover. Shapiro sharing this photo of his Seder plate. At 2 a.m., that very room engulfed in fire after bomber threw yet another Molotov cocktail, according to prosecutors.
The governor's residence putting a large fire in the dining room on the first floor. They can see fire out the windows.
Prosecutors say the governor, his family, and several guests were sleeping inside as smoke filled the room. You see bomber attempting to break down doors, including one that led to the governor. Bomber then running off. Later, police rushing into that same area to wake them up and get them out. Bomber turned himself in. No one was injured, but the attack left the governor, who has 4 children, shaken.
It's hard for me to stand before you today and utter the words attempted murder when it's your own life, to know that someone tried to kill me.
Now, after his arrest, officials say bomber confessed and told investigators that he targeted Shapiro because of Israel's military actions in Gaza. He also told investigators if he saw the governor, he would have struck him with a hammer. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
The U.S. Supreme Court declined an appeal from right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones today. The appeal was Jones's effort to overturn a $1.4 billion libel judgment against him from a lower court. Juries in Connecticut and Texas found Jones liable in 2022 for defamation and emotional distress over lies about the Sandy Hook school massacre. Jones has not paid any of the financial damages he owes the Sandy Hook victim families. A day after Israel and Hamas ratified a ceasefire, Palestinian detainees and prisoners returned to a badly damaged Gaza.
As ABC's Dia Ostin reports, many were shocked at the widespread destruction.
All right, so yesterday the Israeli authorities released over 1,900 Palestinian prisoners as a part of the first phase of the ceasefire agreement between the both conflict parties. But unfortunately, yesterday the prisoners, after they released with an extremely bad health conditions, as the doctors here in Nasser Hospital said. But most of the prisoners told me that they were shocked when they saw the huge scale of the destruction over Gaza Strip. Today, I met a 23 years old prisoner. His name is Abdullah. He told me about the bad conditions inside the jail, and he told me that during his captivity, the prison staff told him that the entire of his family was killed. But yesterday, after he released, he discovered and shocked that all of his family members is still alive, and they were preparing for him the celebration and receiving for his freedom. That's not the only thing, but his family member increased one person because his mother birthed a new child while he was in the captivity and inside the Israeli jails. But in general, the circumstances improved a little bit after hundreds of the aid trucks entered to the Gaza Strip in the few past days. So today in the morning, a number of the aid trucks entered to the Gaza Strip consist of the food and the medical supplies, in addition to some goods for the merchants via UNICEF and World Food Program (WFP), in addition to another humanitarian agencies. But still, some areas is very, very dangerous. So today in the morning, 5 people were killed in Al Shujaiya neighborhood in the eastern parts of the Gaza city. But at the same time, the IDF says that they were trying to cross the safe zone. At the same time, the civil defense in the Gaza Strip stated that the 5 were killed inside the safe zone. Dia Ostaz, ABC News, Gaza.
Intense rains and flooding across Mexico left numerous people dead or missing and damaged tens of thousands of homes. The storms were driven by Tropical Storm Raymond, merging with remnants of Hurricane Priscilla and other Atlantic systems. Search and rescue operations are underway.
We are coming to you live from the Calhoun County Fair. We're going to be talking about beauty pageants. We're going to talk about auctions, children's projects, and the line for the carnival tickets. All that coming up in just a moment. Well, it couldn't ask for a more lovely weather to come out to the Calhoun County Fair. I'm joined by Allie, who's in charge of the auction, and Kaylee, probably one of the beauty queens for tonight. So what about why is tonight a special night?
Tonight is a special night because it is our free night. There's no fee to get into the gate, so everybody comes out. We also have discounted prices on the wristbands for the carnival rides.
There is a line for the wristbands for the carnival rides. And of course, this is the opening night, and it goes all the way through?
It all goes all the way through Saturday night.
So tomorrow night, the projects that the kids raise are judging, right?
Yes, sir.
But then the auction is?
The auction is Thursday night, and we invite everybody that's in the Crossroads area that's got a little money to spend to come on out and help support our youth. They've worked hard on these projects, and this is our chance to give them that opportunity and support they deserve.
Terrific. Well, congratulations. Best of luck to all the students. Thank you and good luck in the contest. Let's do a little weather, folks. Let me show you what's going on. First of all, our high temperature today was 90 degrees, as you can see right about there. Still running above normal for this time of year. The dome of high pressure is over us, but you can see that frontal system to the north. That is where the tropical moisture is rolling over Amarillo. That's the moisture that came up from the Pacific Southwest. Well, now you see that big low out in California? That is a winter storm. That is going to be crossing the southern Rockies and then getting into our area, and that'll be our first front that's coming in on Sunday night. Now, on this map, you can see the rainfall that occurred over the last 24 hours. A little bit of rain in deep South Texas, but if you go out to the West Coast, wow, California has had 2 to 4 inches of rain already as that low starts moving onshore. Now, Lorenzo is not going to be a problem out in the mid-Atlantic and continues to curve around. The Gulf is very quiet right now, and for at least for a little while, the Pacific has settled down from tropical activity. That storm that's in California is the one that's really going to pick up things and make things a whole lot better to us. Now, let me see if I can go through this real quick. You see the red, that's the hot air. The blue, that's the cold air. You see the hot air, it's getting squeezed, it's getting pushed down. And by the time we get to Sunday, we're going to have a major cold snap in the northern part of the country, a cold front that comes through our area and knocks the temperature down a bit, and then hopefully even more colder air coming in next week. Overnight low temperatures getting down to 62. Tomorrow we're topping out in the 90s again, so it's a great night evening to be out at the fair or wherever you want to be. Your Port Lavaca outlook is gorgeous tomorrow with a high of about 88. And in Cuero, you're looking for a high of 90 degrees with wall-to-wall sunshine. So things are looking sunny and warm all the way through Friday and Saturday. Sunday is the first front. That'll knock the temperature to the 80s. And then about Tuesday or Wednesday of next week will be the next front, which will actually hopefully knock us down into the 70s. And wouldn't that be nice? That is it from the Calhoun County Fair. Today is the opening night. It runs all the way through Saturday. Come on out. Well, have a fun ride on the carousel or the big thing that goes round and round like that. I don't know. It says, "Oh my God" in the front, so I don't think I'll be riding that. So we'll toss it back to you.
I guess Mac is not very adventurous.
Whatever it's called, I'm not getting on it, right?
All right, well, now let's send it over to Max Williams with sports.
That's right, Sean. Victoria East lastly won their first game of the season there, and they look to build on that versus Wagnerville on Friday night. We'll look ahead to this matchup and hear from head coach John Ford. That's coming up next. Last night we highlight 3 top matches for Week 8 in our Game of the Week with Sinton versus Cuero, Livonia versus Bay City, and Victoria West facing Bernie. Well, another top match to watch this week is the Yoakum Bulldogs hosting last year's 3A Division I state champions in the Columbus Cardinals. And the Bulldogs head this match about 6-1, while Columbus goes in at 4-2. And quarterback German Robinson has been lethal with his arm and legs this year for Yoakum, finding top targets in Kenan Dilworth, Jace Morales, and Xavier Barnett. Now for Columbus, this team has plenty of weapons. They look to get their first win in district versus Yoakum Friday nights. Now, staying in 3A Division I, but in District 15, where potential early district title matchup is happening with the Goliad Tigers. They're 5-1, traveling out to face undefeated Orange Grove Bulldogs at 6-0. And Goliad last week won 61-7 versus London in our Game of the Week, even though you saw the score probably wasn't our Game of the Week, and had big numbers from their playmakers and Donovan Perry and Lamont Franklin. Now for Orange Grove, they beat Palacios last week 62-0 and had big numbers from sophomore running back Daniel Bond, who rushed for 150.2 yards per game and had 17 total touchdowns. This will be a test for both running games. It's going to be the key is which one can stop each other's rushing attack and make the big time plays at the end of the day. Now back here in Victoria, the East Titans look to build off their first victory of the season this Friday night at home versus St. Antonio Wagner Thunderbirds. Titans showcased the complete game versus MacArthur last week, with Dietrich Alice having 2 rushing touchdowns and Xavier Valdez going 7-12 for 167 yards and 1 touchdown. And, you know, with their star performances from both quarterbacks, head coach John Ford knows it's a challenge to find out when to put one of them on the field at the right time.
It's tough. Valadez throws the ball and understands the passing game a little bit better, and Callis is definitely a more dynamic runner, and so trying to balance that and keep our best players on the field, it's been challenging.
Ford plans to utilize both of these quarterbacks again this Friday night. They're going to prepare also for a triple option offense from Wagner, which current defensive coordinator right now, Alan Salinas, is no stranger to that. He was the DC at Calhoun last season, so they know the triple option for sure the past couple of years from Calhoun. They're from a couple of years back. And over to Victoria West Volleyball, which is currently undefeated in district right now. They battle Richmond Thomas tonight at home. That started about 20 minutes ago, and West had some big production from Emily Parker as of late. She leads the team in kills right now, and Kristen Leichner has been a leader on the defensive side this year, and they're looking kind of make a big impact as well. We're going to have the highlights from this game and scores from Refugio, Goliad, East, and much more from teams or 25 News Now Sports at 10 p.m. I mentioned Goliad, so they face the Stockdale Brahmas in a big matchup there on the road, but one of their stars in libero, Carolyn Youngblood, announced her commitment today to Blinn College to pursue her academics and play volleyball at the next level. Youngblood has been a top leader in the defensive side this year, leading the team in digs for her senior season, and she's also been a great leader off the court as well. So congrats to Carolyn Youngblood for becoming a Buccaneer in the near future. And that's going to do it here in sports. Don, Shauna, back to you.
Thank you, Max, and we're back in a moment. A music legend finds a new way to make her mark in Miami Beach. This honor is right up her street. All right, friends, fans, and family gather to honor music icon Gloria Estefan with a street renaming ceremony on Miami Beach. We got some video of that. A stretch of 13th Street was renamed Gloria Estefan Way to pay tribute to the 8-time Grammy winner. The ceremony took place outside the historic Cardozo Hotel, which she owns. Estefan says she is wrapping up her 50th year in the music industry, so get on your feet for Gloria.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, Mac Pettis, I bet, is having a great time out there.
Absolutely.
I bet he's on his feet with all that stuff.
Yeah,
and, you know,
Maybe he's up at the top of the Ferris wheel
Yeah,
now.
the Ferris wheel. And, you know, you saw those booths out there.
We'll
Great
have to check
food
in
out
with him
there.
later and
Yeah,
see how it's going. But it's a great night to be out there.
Yeah.
Like they said, it's free admission. So, you know, go out, take the family, have, you know, dinner or dessert out there at one of the food vendors.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Going all the way through Saturday.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10. Until then, have a great evening.